Boys, the UFC Saudi Arabia card just finished up, and as you can see on screen, we have every single winner, a couple losers here and there, plus we also got that prelim card, because we do go through that prelim on this Rare MMA channel. But let's start off with the main card. And you know, I think this card was a little bit overhyped, I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't that great, maybe because it was so early, but it wasn't that great. It wasn't that bad either, but it was just overhyped, you know. Let's start off with the winner of the main event, Nassourdine Imavov. Only the second guy to ever knock out Israel Adesanya in the UFC. And you know, Izzy's on a 3-fight losing streak, 2 of them by finish. We'll get into Izzy after we finish with Imavov. And to be honest, this was supposed to be like Israel Adesanya could have gone in this position. I still think this is probably what's going to happen. So we have UFC 312 next week, and we have DDP versus Strickland. Winner of that, regardless of what happened in this fight, regardless of even if Israel Adesanya won, regardless, Chimaev is getting the next title shot. With that being said, I think Chimaev probably makes decently easy work of whoever's a winner at that time in middleweight, and will probably turn around decently quick, which then I think it will be Nassourdine Imavov taking on Chimaev for the belt. Because to be honest, I do think it's one of those rare times where you beat someone like if you went down to featherweight and you beat Max Holloway, you would immediately get a title shot. That's what's happening here. You beat someone like an Israel Adesanya, your next fight is for the belt. It might not be the next title shot, but your next fight is for the belt. That's what I think is happening for Imavov. Moving down to Israel Adesanya. This is a very tricky spot. I don't think this dude is retiring, because he would have done that. He would have had a whole, you know, this dude would have yapped on the mic. He would have had his moment, but he didn't. He left the octagon quickly after getting knocked out, and I think he's still going to fight one more time. With that being said, I don't know if this dude's getting a title shot coming off a 3-fight losing streak. You know what I mean? Like, he's probably gonna have to fight 2 to 3 times, maybe get a 2 to 3 fight win streak before challenging for the belt now, because he's gonna be pretty low in the rankings now. With that being said, I think this makes sense. You know, they have not beef, but they have talked about each other before. You know, Izzy said he wants to fight this guy down the line, and the guy I have matched up with him asked why he didn't accept the fight. I think we do Israel Adesanya, Kaiho Brahalio. I think the UFC is going to start using the Israel Adesanya name to build up some of these guys, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. I don't think the UFC is going to be like, okay, what fight can we give Izzy that can be an easy bounce back win so we can get him into a title shot? I don't think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to build off his name, just like what they did with Silva. I think they're doing the same thing with him now. And with that being said, I did say if Israel Adesanya loses to Imavov, he's going to retire. Doesn't look like that's the case, because I do think he wants to retire in front of like a bigger crowd, retire, have a mic. You know, he didn't have a mic, so I do think he's gonna fight one more time. If he loses again, he's probably gonna retire. With that being said, MVP got it done over Shara Bullet. Pretty dominant win. He says he wants to go back to 170. I think the only logical fight, I know both these guys are saying is probably not going to be as entertaining as what we think, but I think the only logical step is MVP Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Battle of the, you can market this as the 2 best strikers in the UFC. Who is the best striker? Something like that. I think we do this. This would be a very fun addition to any pay-per-view that we do. And you know, like a lot of MVP's fights, he doesn't have that much damage on him. He can probably realistically turn around pretty soon here. Wonderboy hasn't fought since he got knocked out by Buckley, and that was a good time ago. So he should be ready to go anytime now. I wouldn't be mad having this at, honestly, 3, 13, 14, any pay-per-view coming up. I want to see them there. I don't think it takes that long. I don't think these guys need that much time even to prepare for like a game plan for one another, because I guarantee they know each other, because I guarantee they both have like some sort of generalized game plan for each other. That being said, let's keep moving down. Shara Bullet, first loss in the UFC. I don't know who the hell was picking Shara Bullet to get it done over MVP, and I'm pretty sure MVP was an underdog, which is crazy. I should have put the house on MVP. And also, before we continue, we did pretty good on picks here. I'm gonna quickly, I think we only got like three wrong, and those 3 were Izzy. I picked Jairzinho to get it done, and there was one more. I think I picked Magomedov to get it done over Vincent Oliveira. All the other ones we got 100% right. We'll love to see that. With that being said, Shara Bullet got his first loss. He's probably gonna fight someone outside the rankings, and I think a great fight for Both of these fighters, I feel like this would be a very competitive fight. I think we do Shara Bullet versus Chris Curtis. Now, Chris Curtis just got dropped and knocked out technically in his last fight. He's not going to be back for a little bit now. Shara Bullet, he could come back pretty soon here, but I think we run this sometime maybe April, May would be fun. I think that gives Chris Curtis enough time to recover and be ready for a fight. I think this would be a really fun addition, again, to any pay-per-view that we have. If not, run this next time we go to one of these like Saudi events, you know? That being said, Sergei Pavlovich got it done over Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Surprising that he won a decision. I would think that he would have got a knockout, you know, but I picked Jairzinho to win by a decision. I thought Jairzinho would be able to be more effective at counter-striking. It is what it is. Sergei Pavlovich got it done. Both of these guys, I'm going to match them up with some fresh matchups, some guys that they haven't fought before. So Pavlovich, give him Sergei Spivak. It's time we finally figure out the age-old question, who is the best Sergei in the heavyweight division? Run this one next. Who really cares? It's heavyweight division at the end of the day that nobody cares about. Jairzinho Rozenstruik got it done. I call this guy Timo version of Derek Lewis. Let's just get the real Derek Lewis in here. Find out if the real Derek Lewis is better than the Timo version. That being said, Vinicius Oliveira also got it done. I picked Said to get it done. It was a very competitive back and forth fight. I think, you know, because Said Nurmagomedov was very, very high in the rankings, and that was Vince's second fight in the UFC. He's going to be decently high up in the rankings now. And I think we give him a test to see if he's ready to enter the top 15. We give him the top 15 gatekeeper himself, Pedro Muniz. If you beat Pedro Muniz, you're ready for the top 15. And yeah, this might be way, way, way too early for Vinicius Oliveira, but at the end of the day, who cares? We gotta see if this dude's top 15 level. You can't go out here, beat Said, and expect to get someone lower in the rankings, you know? I don't think that's how it works. And, you know, Said, again, was very high up in the rankings. He was arguably right there to get close to the top 15. Let's see if Vinicius Oliveira is ready for the top 15. I think he could probably win a decision over old man Pedro Muniz. Run this on a featured fight of a Apex fight. Screw it. I wouldn't be mad about that. Let's go down. Ziam got it done. Again, a very competitive fight, like I said it would be. This might be a very high push, but this dude needs to be in the top 15. He needs a top 15 level fight. Some dude said that, you know, this guy was getting contracts after contracts after contracts and no one was signing for it. I guarantee if you give Ziam this fight, he'll accept it because, again, it's into the top 15, close to that top 10 spot. I think we give him Rafael Fiziev. Now, this again might be way too early, but Fiziev hasn't been very active. We might see some ring rust here. You know, I'm thinking of all the things that are positive for Ziam to take into this fight and for the UFC to match these guys up, because I guarantee they would want someone like a Ziam to be in the rankings, and they would probably want him to beat Rafael Fiziev. And I think, you know, we have the long layoff, coming off an injury, not fighting in a long ass time. I think and being on a losing streak as well. I think all this stuff favors Ziam right now, and momentum is key. Momentum is definitely on the Ziam side. I think we run this one next. Again, this might be way too early, but I think this would be a very fun fight. Put this on the opener of a pay-per-view. I wouldn't be mad about an opener of the pay-per-view spot for this one. Even the second fight on a pay-per-view, I wouldn't be mad about that. But let's get into these prelims now. We'll run through these ones quick, because I know a lot of you guys don't really care that much about them, but Muhammad Naimov got it done. Gabriel Santos. I think this would be fun, and it's a logical next step up for Muhammad Naimov. Moving down, Shamil Gaziev got it done. Again, I picked him to get it done. I did say he was going to do some spinning shit. He didn't end up doing any spinning shit, just a classic like 1-2 down the middle, dropped him. Can someone please tell me why this dude looks so menacing in this photo? I think we give him a little bit higher up into the rankings, because he just fought someone who wasn't even in the rankings. Some he gets a bump up in the rankings. Marcos Rodrigo de Lima. I don't even know who this dude is, but he's ranked in the top 15. Run this one next. Terrance McKinney got it done just like I said he was. Wasn't a flatline KO, more of a ground and pound. It is what it is. Some back of the head shots as well. But I think we give him who he called out. He called out Chris Duncan. Run this one next. McKinney versus Chris Duncan. He called him out. I love it when fighters call out their opponent, especially when it's realistic. When it's not realistic, then just shut up about it. But this one, fairly realistic to do. Run this one next. Because who was it that said some dumb shit? It might have been, was it this guy, the Bogdan Grad? It was either Bogdan Grad, Muhammad Naimov, or it had to have been these guys, you know, calling out Usman Nurmagomedov. Like, are you retarded? Why are you wasting your mic time on that? Idiots. I hate when they do stupid stuff like that. But Jasmine got it done. Like I said, she would decision win. I told you that Mayra Bueno Silva is way too overrated. She's not that great. Jasmine got it done. She is looking like the only real chance that Canada has as a champion in the UFC. So I think we do. A girl that hasn't fought in a long time. I don't know if she's even in the UFC anymore. I don't know where this girl is. Caitlin Kuchagian, run this one next. She's a little bit higher up in the rankings. Plus, if Jasmine can get it done over her, that's a former title contender. I think we run this one next. It makes sense. And then after that one, we can look into maybe because this division is so shallow, we either do a top 5 opponent next or a title eliminator next for Jasmine if she can get it done over Caitlin. But we got 2 more to go do. Bogdan, Grad, got it done. I think logical next step up, Jamal Emmers. Both these guys fairly new to the UFC. Jamal Emmers having more fights, you know, not doing the greatest. I think he has a few losses in his career so far in the UFC, but again, it makes sense for this one. Then Hamdy robbed us of the Jamal Pogas wins, but it is what it is. I think, you know, if he can't look dominant in his next fight, then we know where this dude lines up, because he was like crying that he didn't look that great. It doesn't matter. Hamdy, maybe it was the long layoff, but I expect to see a new rejuvenated fight for Hamdy when he fights up next against Muhammad Usman. Muhammad Usman, one of the worst heavyweight fighters we have in the UFC, and it makes sense to match these guys up. Muhammad has won maybe like once in the UFC so far. Hamdy, undefeated. Run this one next. That's every single person who has won and a few that lost at UFC Saudi Arabia. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of these matchmakings? Who would you match them up differently with? And yeah, tomorrow I should have my rare predictions for UFC 312, so stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching to the end of the video, and with all that being said, there's really not that much else left to say except for I will see you guys in my next